Oh, wow.
Do we get the JDG Gangplank ban? Oh, the Gangplank's still open. Shanji. Let's see if he gets it. It will be the Viego, though, banned away by JDG. They first picked the Lucian. They say, come at me, bro, if you want to pick the GP.
Yeah, I mean, the GP I don't think is too big of an issue. I think that Lucian is definitely going to be an issue, though. Like, able to pick this up with Nami for Cole in the bot lane means that you're going to be in a really good spot for OMG to try and play around this bot side and kind of make things a little bit uncomfortable for Hope. I will say, though, I think when Cole has been such a good tool for OMG to use in engages, like on things like the Alistair, when he was on things like the Nautilus in the past, this is where I think OMG are going to be a little bit caught out, where they now need to look at someone else to take over in that role.
The Karma and the Ezreal are the lock-ins for JDG. They want to go ahead and get that bottom lane secured. I was wondering, maybe there would be that flexibility with the Lucian. I like how you just put it straight in the bot lane. Fine, Dagda, your analysis is better than mine. LeBlanc does come through for Creme. That is a scary thought as well, as the Nami comes through, more than to justify your right analysis there.
I mean, it's just such a strong pick in the bot side, and there's very little that can really deal with it, especially past level 3. This lane just takes over. But Yagao got to opt into the LeBlanc Ahri matchup, so pretty happy to go with that. But with no junglers locked in, I definitely feel like JDG will start to target some of these jungle picks, so then they can get a first rotation there for Kanavi. But actually more worried about this top side and making sure that 369 is going to be okay.
Hey, I appreciate the Gangplank ban from that first game. The Vi actually is going to be taken off as well by OMG this time around, so they'll take that away from Kanavi if you wanted to go for that one. Do you have any thoughts about this Ahri versus LeBlanc this time around? And we got to see the Ahri last time around for Creme. Didn't end up in the best situation, but now it's not the Lissandra, it's the LeBlanc.
Yeah, it can do pretty okay in like trading very effectively with the Ahri. The only thing is it can be a little bit harder to try and get control over the wave because you have to use your distortion on the wave, which means you don't really have trade potential against the Ahri, and you've also got to use your main damage source on the wave versus on towards your opponent. So it can be a little bit tough, but should be okay as long as you're able to get that jungle attention from Aki. But I'm just not really sure exactly what Aki and Kanavi are going to go for here. It feels like to me for JDG, they're nearly setting up as this like long range kind of poke damage composition. So maybe 369 is going to look towards something like a Jace or something along these lines in that top lane. But I'm kind of curious as to what Kanavi wants to go for in the jungle. I think that something that has like the option to peel but also be a decent engage tool could work. So you could actually look at something like the Jarvan if you want to try and lock up. But it looks like he's actually just going to add in more of that kind of long range damage with that Graves.
It is locked in here. Very obvious focuses for both these teams as they came out of the second ban phase. The Lee Sin joined the buy for OMG, the Rumble joining the Gangplank as top lane bans for JDG, and now we have the final pick, the counter pick for JDG, which will be towards that top side, and we'll have to see what OMG just feel comfortable grabbing, right? The Kennen is something we've seen banned away multiple times that can make it through here, and it does end up getting drawn by OMG.
Yeah, I had my aha moment for like JDG going like, what top laner would be perfect here? And I was like, oh, Kennen would be perfect for 369. And obviously OMG were like, hell yeah, it would be. That's why we're not letting them have it. Shanji takes that one away. But it actually works out well for Shanji as well, right? Because having that extra engage that we talked about, someone else that's going to take on the mantle of getting in and being the setup for the team fight is perfect. And there we go, the Talon
I just
locked
ran
in for
away.
Aki.
I just ran away from my setup because I just saw the Talon locked in and I just screaming my head off. Oh my God, we get it. OMG, oh my God, it all works out. And it is the Talon to come through for Aki. Aki himself, having already played the Zed, trying to bring out some of these assassins and the durability meta. It is the Sion to round out the JDG pick. I just got real hypey.
Yeah, I love the Talon. I think it's really, really strong. I think you can do a lot, and especially when you're looking at a pretty squishy lineup on JDG side, apart from that side in the top lane. I think if you got like the two assassins both working in tandem to try and find these picks, it can work out really, really well. And so we'll have to see if OMG are going to be able to find that though in these early stages, or if you're on JDG side, if you can find these early leads, get your vision control down, and make it really hard for OMG to actually find passages in towards the fights. Because if you're able to control your flanks, you know, LeBlanc can't really get in, Talon can't really get in, and even then when you're looking at Kennen as well, the last ninja to round that out, it's still going to be incredibly tough for him to find good moments to find flanks.
And I see a lot of aggression on the side of OMG. Maybe they need to go to like some aggression counseling or something like that. But they definitely opted into that one for this third one. But I love it because you're trying to throw a wrench in the works of what has been a very back and forth series here, where we've seen, skirmish heavy bruiser junglers already take the scene in both these first games. And now Aki is willing to say, we put the game on us, on our decisions in game number 3. Can we get a snowball? Can we get ahead? This Talon will do that if we can get the right resources on it. And I think it has a little bit of boomer bust potential here for sure for OMG. And I think that's something we have to keep an eye on, Dagda.
That's what I'm excited to see. If OMG can find that, we've seen them get those early leads in this series already. It's just going to be a case of Aki and Creme trying to link up, play through the mid jungle, punish Yagao, and then try and spread that influence across the map.
Let's see, as game 3 already onto the rift, we've got OMG trying to take down the would-be Titans in JDG. And trying to take this best of 3 in a 2-1 victory. We have gone the distance already. JDG looking for early blood. Will not find it, though, in the bottom side of OMG's map.
Yeah, just trying to make sure they can spot out where Aki's going to be at these early stages. Ensure that they're able to make sure the Talon can't get into a position where he can get ahead. Creme going to spot them as they leave as well, making sure that there is actually a bot side that Aki can take.
We'll see how that all starts out, but we got to keep an eye early on. Oh no, it's the early trade. It's the Spell Thieves. Missing has won the game. JDG, it's over. No, in all actuality, it's just a little bit of vision game. OMG, we will see opting into the top side. Split map so far for both junglers, and something we haven't necessarily seen that much of in this split.
Yeah, nice job from Creme, though, although he traded his health bar for it, get that ward down that spotted JDG. We're going for this invade, so they know there is going to be the split map. 369 just trying to be a bit of a nuisance on the Sion, but will make his way back up towards the top side. So it kind of works out in favor, honestly, of JDG going for the split map. Because, as you say, we don't see it very often, but when Aki is trying to play towards squishier targets, when he's trying to find ways to influence the map, the fact that now he's kind of stuck onto the top side against 369, who is already in that tanky position, is going to mean that his ganks aren't going to be as strong. Even you can see Kanavi as well now moving back over, so you don't even get the second camp as Talon because of how quick Kanavi clears. And now Kanavi's got just a little bit of advantage for himself.
And that's a huge heads up play from Kanavi, right? Like realizing, I just need to assert myself, walk across this mid lane, force Aki, who is on this assassin early on that can't do much, to seed the jungle. And now he gets that extra lead up, the extra camp so far, but the Graves can get terrifying with the amount of clearing he can do. And the amount of damage I feel like can be present on this composition for JDG. Is, speaking of damage, we got a little bit given from Abel and Cold over to Missing.
Yeah, and that's only just off the level 2 as well. Missing needs to be very careful because level 3 is really where this bot lane comes alive, but Kanavi should be making his way down towards that side of the map as that level 3 is hit, so might be able to give some much needed help to the JDG bot.
And I wonder if we do, both games so far we have seen both junglers going towards this bot side. A lot of it has led to window shopping, as I called it, where they just gotta have to wait around, see if anything's gonna happen, walk away because nothing happened. But in this one, I expect a little bit more, I guess, all-in potential down there. Maybe see if they can actually get something instead of just window shopping, as it will be Scuttlecrab achieved first by Kanavi. Aki is down here, has the wall jump over, but Hope already gets the kill. Don't even need him. Cold goes down. The squishiness not working out in favor. Missing almost dies to the shots from Abel, but it's first blood for JDG.
That was so much damage on towards Cold. Cold completely caught unaware there. And I mean, look, that's something that we've kind of seen with Cold prior to this as well, where much happier on these tanky engaged supports and not expecting how much burst could come through from JDG, and Code just falls. You see it here in the replay. Like, Code only level 2 to the level 3, and just the 1-2 shot coming through with the Ignite and the Essence Flux as well to deal the damage for Hope.
Just not expecting the damage, kind of focusing on, Aki coming in, that what's going on between the junglers, how is Abel, Abel's stunned up there, like, oh no, we got to fix him, but Cold is the one that gets all the pressure put onto him, and that's a big lead for the bottom lane of JDG. Gotta look back towards the rest of the map, though. We did get resets coming out for both junglers. I would still really need to see Ahri getting involved on the map some way, but he hasn't really been able to because of what just happened on the bottom side, and it spends a lot of time for Ahri.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about how JDG had kind of made this game uncomfortable for Ahri off the get-go, right? The early invade means that Ahri has to split the map. He ends up falling behind in the CS department and in the camp department, and it means that he's not actually able to find these windows to try and influence the game. And now you're looking again at like, okay, well, what do you do as Ahri, right? Like, you are sitting about 2-3 camps behind, so now you're going, okay, maybe I can try and like play up towards this top side, maybe I can actually try to farm up a little bit of these advantages. But the more time you spend farming, the less time you're actually getting these leads and using that first strike.
Creme able to get out with the distortion there. Kanavi will be seen in the mid lane. We have Dragon on the board now for about 20 seconds. We'll be in Hextech Dragon to start off. Cold is some trouble yet again. The Exiflood's doing a lot of damage back. It will be a root, though, onto Abel, and nice damage traded. Kanavi down here. Do we see another JDG tower dive as Abel walking away from the tower only has 200 health. The smoke screen comes out. They're still trying to commit to this, as it will be the end of the line, doing a decent amount of damage. Kanavi forces OMG off the bottom tower. It'll be turret plates, a boon for Hope.
Yagao is here as well, though, level 6 on the Ahri, which is why OMG can't try and contest the wave. Creme, especially with his wave underneath the tower, isn't really in a position to try and answer this.
Ahri doesn't really have anything to do down here as well. The minions are still spawning in his jungle, and they've kept the pressure up down here. Dragon also is already started for JDG, but look at the bot side. Cold and Abel, they found missing. He flashes forward, missing the shield. The ignite isn't going to be enough. Not enough today. JDG's missing, gets out for the second time with a sliver of health. It'll be a dragon for JDG as well.
Ahri trying to see if he can find missing, but too afraid to go into that bottom side, not really knowing where Kanavi is. So OMG unfortunately come up empty-handed again. That was so close, but unfortunately just not enough damage in the tank for OMG.
Yeah, find ourselves in a very similar position down there yet again. With the ignite burned by Cold, all the summoner spells for the bottom lane. We'll get a repeat of that and see how Missing just survived with such little health. He gets hit by the bubble to start it off.
Yeah, good job from Cold to land that, but you see there the shield just in time to heal from Hope as well, making sure that he's able to just about stay topped up. But I mean, there you can see Missing takes that step too far and it can cost him, and that's been basically the story of both supports in this bot lane, right? Every time you see Hope trying to go aggressive onto Cold, Missing is already tethered with Abel, which means that Abel has to put himself in harm's way to try and trade back, because he knows he's going to get CC'd whenever he tries to trade against Hope. But you're seeing when Cold is able to get some damage back onto Missing, land that CC, suddenly OMG are able to put up a fight. So we'll have to see how that back and forth is going to continue to go. But right now, it's JDG who are coming out on better.
We got pings from OMG themselves onto the Rift Herald that'll be spawning in about 20 seconds. Not much they can really do about it, though, as priority in mid lane, as well as the presence of Kanavi up towards that way will just ensure that they can start up this objective. Would be the second objective in a row for JDG in this third game. Some nice things to have, at least to start it off, as Creme trying to trade into Yagao a little bit. Actually, Kanavi opts in, since we still have a little bit of time for the Rift Herald, to take out the blue buff here, and Ahri can't really do anything about it. And that is the scary point at this point. When does Ahri actually be able to do anything here? And I think that's a very provocative question to be asking at this point for OMG, because that's the mainstay of how they're going to win this game, it feels. I don't know if this is the trade, though. They go in. They might be in some trouble, as the ultimate from Ahri is going to do enough. Creme is the one that picks up the kill, and there you go. Ahri finally gets on the board.
And I was about to agree with you. I was about to say, I don't feel like there's many situations where Ahri can actually get these advantages because of the way JDG are set up, but JDG end up overextending, and now 369 running down towards this bottom side, but OMG, they've already got away scot-free, so really nice job from Ahri and Creme to get that kill.
I can appreciate that with a little bit of cast and curse in there on JDG's side. But it'll be something on the board for OMG, as we've tied up 1-1. Much different stories than we've had, and exactly what I was expecting going into this third game, where in the LPL, when we have very one-sided games for game 1 and 2, it's always a banger for game 3, because it is everybody coming from very one-sided games into very respective game 3s, and everybody taking a little bit of extra time with it here as well. So want to keep seeing how these comps play out. It'll be Rift Herald that started, but Shanji in trouble, needs to call Aki over. 369, he flashes, he gets the kill, and he'll give that all day long. He might just go for the Sion play under tower here, but won't do so. Aki slowly chasing him down. Does he even get him here? There's the bird, the bleed rather, and he does finally get the kill to 369. 369 trading back very heavily onto Aki, though. One more auto attack would have done it, but he can't find the time, and Aki jumps over the wall. Cold! Cold is just dead. Abel tries to find Missing, but Missing gets out with a sliver of health again, and Abel just dies under tower. That's a double kill for Kanavi.
I mean, Kanavi just saying, anything you can do, Aki, I can do better. Double trouble in the bot lane for OMG as Abel and Cold both fall. And that's just so well played by JDG, responding well to the pressure that Aki was putting on top side.
I can't believe they were able to pull that out on both sides. Now we do see OMG going back to the Rift Herald because they can actually do it this time around. Be more plates going over to the bottom side of JDG, and especially Hope. But at least OMG get an objective back, and this will be a big one to utilize somewhere, some way, and hopefully in one of these solo lanes.
Yeah, I feel like they need to try and use this mid. Like, Creme and Aki are falling behind, and the Assassins went behind, don't do particularly much, but we're going to get a replay of this solo kill from 369. Really nicely done. Gets the knock up onto Shanji, the ultimate as well to keep him locked in place, and even predicting the movement here from Shanji when he flashes forward, manages to get the decimating smash. And then here, he survives for so long that Aki ends up overextending to try and get this. The minions are doing a good bit of work. They're actually slowing Aki as well as he goes through, and that means you're able to get Aki low.
Oh,
so
man.
JDG make the play happen bot side.
Yeah, that Cole just stepping up a little bit there, getting some vision, but yeah, stepped up just a little bit too late, and Abel is taking out her tower. He was very close to getting Missing there with the calling, but can't do so.
And now you've got 2 kills picked up for Kanavi on that bot lane play. He's in a great spot. Dragon is going to be going their direction as well as they pick up number 2 here. I don't imagine OMG can try and make anything.
I mean, he's got the Eclipse. He's got the Eclipse now, so I guess a decent spike there. But yeah, I mean, this is the play we would have expected. OMG backing off, giving the Dragon to JDG. Will be continuing the objective stacking for JDG in terms of dragons, which I think is important for them. But Cold and Abel still on the bot side can be terrifying if they find the right pick at the right time.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Now you're in a position where the only way that Aki and Creme could really make this game work is if Creme was able to land some early chains on towards Yagao. You get Aki diving in towards the mid lane. They're picking up a bunch of kills, and then you snowball this game out of control. But now Aki hasn't really got these big leads. Creme is kind of looking all right, but not too far ahead. And JDG are starting to get control more and more.
Here comes Aki, though. The Maelstrom already utilized there. And Unstoppable Onslaught will be a ticket out for 369. Nicely done from the top laner of JDG. Kanavi takes this opportunity, as they did see Aki up there, to get the bottom side jungle of Aki's and continue building up this CS differential between these junglers, which I think has actually grown to a very scary number, at least if you're trying to find a way into this game for OMG.
Yeah, you see Aki's trying to respond, but again, means that Kanavi's now positioned in the bot lane, and Abel and Code are the ones falling behind. And the problem is, you're playing a bot lane that needs to snowball, but Yagao might be caught.
Creme does get charmed there. Yagao double chain connects here. Kanavi's coming to help him, though, and Creme realizes they need to back off this one. Cold and Abel coming up to help as well. Again, that potential is scary. They find Yagao over the wall.
Yeah, Yagao holding on to that ultimate for way too long. Code will send the Nami wave wide, but still OMG now, they're the ones with the Rift Herald in mid, and they're going to get some nice damage down. Hope, though, because of all that early pressure, will get first tower bot side as Aki
look at this.
Here for Missing.
Ooh, Missing. Oh, the play over the wall. Jump over. Now they're in some trouble here. There's the ultimate utilized. Missing flashes away. Kanavi. This is a 2v4 that they feel confident in taking. 369 is on his way here. No unstoppable onslaught to speak of, but there's the exhaust utilized just to try and get Abel out of. Oh my God, he takes so much damage there. And now, what? How do JDG force this into OMG? Cold dies again.
Yeah, Missing able to get the speed up there to set JDG up, and now they're the ones on the mid lane turret, and Abel?
Taking so much damage there. The tower itself is now in the ire of JDG. A couple minions left here. See if they can get it. One knockup would have spelled the doom of Abel, but they don't get the outer tower. JDG have to walk away. Nice defense from OMG.
I mean, you still have JDG posturing here, though. A lot of pressure created on that bot side with the turret going down. You even got Yagao as well, who's cleared out a wave top, so that's dying to the turret. OMG are not guessing these minions that are just dying to the turret, so they're going to try and make a play instead.
Yeah, they're trying to collapse here. Shanji has Slicing Maelstrom available there, but they can't find the angle just right. Chains do connect here. They'll get the stun CC down. Creep backs away to the distortion. 369 not going to go down. He's too tanky already with that Frostfire Gauntlet. Get a replay of that Yagao catch out there, trying to see if Creme can do something here.
Yeah, spots him on the sweeper and goes, oh god, I don't want to be here. But at this stage, right, Yagao is holding on to the ultimate. I think he just holds over the wall, especially when you realize Code and Abel are on the way as well, but holds onto it for far too long. Abel's able to get the empowered double shot with the vigilance and the Tyconner's blessing, so you are able to pick off Yagao.
A nice pick off and much needed gold given over to Creme in the mid lane. Sitting at 2-0 on the LeBlanc himself actually is not too bad, as he now has completed the Luden's Echo as well. We'll get the transition of the bottom lanes going to mid and see that as we transition to the mid game here, what OMG can do, as Aki himself on the Talon has had some influence when we thought maybe it'd be much more difficult for him to.
Yeah, the problem though is that, like, what you already kind of mentioned at the start of this game, Mazel, like, you're kind of early game or bust here as OMG. Like, your Creme and Aki are not going to kill 369. Abel, because he's gone for the Gale Force as well, isn't really going to have the damage to get through this Sion. And realistically, as long as JDG are able to keep up this tempo advantage that they've already gained for themselves, they get to establish vision. They get to make it hard for OMG to operate in towards these neutral fights. You can see with 30 seconds until the next dragon, you've already got river control for JDG, and 369 can start to rotate down now. And how do you try and push in here as Aki to find picks alongside this LeBlanc when you just don't know where JDG are sitting?
Yeah, it's so difficult for Aki to really have any say. He just has to wait for the opportunity to arise to do something, right? You don't have the engagement potential, the I want to go now, so let's go, into a team like JDG have right now, where they've set themselves up with a pretty strong lead early on. It's Dragon started up by Kanavi. The rest of OMG are here. This is turning out to be a potential 5v5 with Yagao on the side with the flank, but they don't find it just yet. 369 taking a decent amount of damage. Dragon getting low. Aki does not get it. Kanavi gets the third Dragon for JDG, but Slicing Maelstrom might just get the fight. That's huge for OMG. They've got to take the rest of it, though. They get obliterated. Yagao is there, but Kanavi gets hopped on, and here comes Aki. They've got a decent amount of teamfight damage, and OMG just don't. There's the big bubble, and there's another pop as it's OMG going down into the night. Cold is still alive, finally surviving for once, but he will not for long. Yagao with a triple kill.
And it was so close to being good for OMG. Shanji had a great engage as JDG were separated, but it's not enough. JDG find the picks, find the tower, and that's going to be more gold in their pockets.
Rift Herald, number 2 on the table here for JDG if they want to go ahead and take it. Kanavi's just blowing up this gold lead for the jungle matchup. He's taking all of Aki's jungle camps. He's taking everything that Aki could possibly hold dear, including the life of his teammates. And Aki just barely missing 28 there on the smite.
Yeah, great engage here from Shanji, though, realizing, look, they're separated, we can make this play happen, but Kanavi is just too big, finishes off Abel. Now you've got Yagao as well in a great position to actually hide behind 369. As we said, nobody kills 369 in this fight. Just really, really nicely played. And I'm going to as well talk about it because I didn't even cop. Kanavi has gone for a gore drink. Kanavi on his graves has just gone, you know what? Everyone's going to be jumping in on top of me. I'm going to make sure that I'm able to get this healing. And I think this is just the funniest build. This is just amazing.
It actually is. That damage ain't no slouch either. Oh, man. All right. Creme is already dead. A little bit of cream of the crop there for JDG. We'll see if hope can continue here, as they've already taken down the outer tower. 369 pretty much has everything you could ever ask for in the side lane, as Shanji doesn't really have a response there. They're on the tier 2 tower in top.
Yeah, and it's going to be gone. I mean, you just don't get to try and hold this one up. You've even got the Rift Herald still in Kanavi's back pocket, so he can use that if he wants to, but they just know, hey, look, we've got control here on this top side. We can move over whenever we're ready into this mid lane as well. They're just taking their time again to make sure that this mid game is going to go perfectly on their side.
Yeah, trying to stay away from the mid games that OMG have seemingly had some trouble with to start off the split. JDG themselves not having any trouble in this game. We're hoping for a little bit more of a back and forth for this third game, where we saw OMG come out of the gate swinging in game one, but JDG have seemingly woken up from a little bit of a slumber in that first game and come back to exactly how we kind of expected this series to go in the first place. Very dominant map control from JDG.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you're just running out of targets here as Creme and Ahri. Like, as we said, the Gourd Drinker there for Kanavi means that if Ahri or Creme ever try and jump in on top of him, he's got that initial burst of healing that comes through from the Gourd Drinker to keep him topped up. Yagao is going to get Sonya's coming through. Hope is going to be very slippery and also just have some of that his own defensive items coming through shortly as well. So for OMG, the double assassin build is just not working out for him.
It is not. Tier 2 in the mid now also falls, so we'll have more towers fighting with us here. Kanavi caught out a little bit. There's Abel getting some decent damage put onto him. Here comes Slicey Maelstrom on the back. It's a series of events here for OMG, but Kanavi gets away. Now you got to be careful. Oh, they do find Kanavi at least, but now they've spread and run for the hills, but the hills have eyes, and they're always looking because JDG are always hunting, and that'll be more kills to JDG. Creme gets out. Shanji trying to get out, trying to escape here, but the base is in tatters. JDG actually spending time to just chase down everything they can at this point because they say, you know what, might as well have some fun with it.
Shanji trying to run towards Ahri. Going to help me,
still
brother. I need help, but he's got his spotted.
Oh, no. Aki's still going. The beauty of Talon. This is why he picked it, because he knew that even if the game does not go right, he can still have fun. He can still parkour.
I mean, start the Benny Hill music. JDG are going to chase him down.
Oh my God, he's still got Ahri, the greatest magic showman of all time, will finally die.
I mean, he gets the flash out from Sion, but the problem is you've now got your jungler dead for 30 seconds, and that's sold for JDG in 15. So JDG reset, will run towards the objective, and look, this has just been all over the place. Abel tries to get the damage onto Kanavi, but remember what we're talking about here, right? As Shanji comes in, the Gourd Drinker gives you that big burst of healing, and alongside the magic shield as well from the Hex Drinker, keeps Kanavi alive for so long. So everyone has to overcommit to kill Kanavi, which means JDG can find the play.
OMG caught again. Very, very good stuff from JDG to bait them out here every single time. It seems like Creme needs to be careful. Creme, you got to get out of there, man. Kanavi's chasing you down, and Kanavi's coming to town with a shotgun.
I mean, he's got a shotgun, a flail, a sword, and a glaive. Like, there's no escaping from this Graves. That is a loaded weapon if I've ever seen one. And now JDG will get to crack open the base as Kanavi takes that soul.
Appreciated the Talon pickup, appreciated the confidence for OMG to draft the way they did in game number 3, but you gotta respect it. And now the Slicing Maelstrom, you thought it was gonna do something, doesn't even get a kill. They've lost another member, and the snowball continues.
Yeah, now Yagao going to see if he can find the pick. Not quite able to get the charm. Ahri going to be forced back. I mean, the soul is there for them now. They're just waiting on waves. And honestly, they don't even care about them. They're just going, hey, look, Shanji's dead. Ahri's been forced back. Let's just take the Baron.
The Baron will be nice. It'll add to the almost 10,000 gold lead that JDG find themselves in now. And it's just about crossing the T's, dotting the I's yet again. We're having a little bit of school class here in this first series of the day as JDG found themselves in a bit of a fight against OMG for this Baron. OMG's realizing, you know, there might be something to fight over here, but they are also just disappearing. I don't know if they're all magicians, but at this point, Yagao is going to be out of the fight because of the health bar decrease there from Ahri, but Ahri chases and dies himself, and it's a little bit all over the place at this point for OMG. Seems like the wheels have fallen off the train a little bit, and JDG just keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, 369, just playing front line there. Now going to push in mid. Got the wave there. Looks like we're getting resets, but no TPs for JDG. Means that will kind of be the end of the play. But, I mean, it's only a matter of time now. I mean, 369, kind of hilarious that he is still out on Summoner's Rift. Like, he's never going to get this tower. He could probably spend some gold and actually, like, link up with his team. But they're actually just going to run straight over towards the Baron instead.
We'll see the replay of that again. OMG just trying to look for something, and I can respect that. But then they always look, and JDG punish.
Yeah, Yagao on the flank there finds Cold. 369 in a great spot here. Doesn't even get the knock up, but doesn't really matter. They have to find the fight. Now we got another fight happening.
We do. JDG don't want to stop. Oh, that true shot barrage does a lot of damage. They didn't even start the bear. They were just pushing the wave in mid lane. Now it looks like they might go back that way, try to push out this top side as well, get those minion waves crashing into the base of OMG. It could be a quick Baron to boot as well.
Oh, Yagao.
Decent trade back. Gets the Banshie's Veil popped. As Creme is able to actually do a little bit of work. 369. Looking for the picks, which I can appreciate. Because you got to have fun on the Sion at this point. You got the Warmogs. You're feeling real tanky. It feels real good. It is the Baron buff secured. It is a Baron power play for JDG. And the catch out there in the picture as well. So I guess Colt died again. And now we get to see Creme die again. And it's just going to be a slow take to that as everybody is going to end up dying. Shanji gets killed by Yagao. And now JDG, 5 members strong, flash forward, charm, another death to cold. Will Abel bite the dust as well? Everybody from OMG are getting taken out. Aki is just having a good time, picking the flowers in the jungle, saying hi to the monsters, but his base is in tatters. This series is in tatters for OMG. And JDG, the big brain train, keeps chugging along as they'll hit 4-0 to start the season.
A kill a minute on average there for JDG. Absolutely insane from this lineup. Being able to estimate OMG in game 2 and game 3. And this is why a lot of people are looking at this team going, they are looking good. But you can't kind of forget about game number 1.
You can't.
This is where we need to see that consistency from JDG. But if they can keep up playing like this, this is a team that can definitely look towards those top spots in the LPL.
Absolutely can. And they make more and more cases for that argument every single time we see them on the Rift. Although I will say they do end up losing games a decent amount in those best of 3s. You got to keep an eye out on those one-offs. But it has been a very interesting story for JDG, as it literally just felt like they woke up after that first game. They got smacked a couple times. It's like those videos where you see people pouring water on people that are asleep. It's like that a little bit, where OMG just came out the gate swinging. JDG woke up in game number 2, showed their dominance. And yes, game 3 wasn't the exact same, but it was still map control and map dominance from JDG. I will say as well, being able to see all these performers, we were talking heavily about Kanavi early on, but I feel like the laners really showed out today.
Yeah, I agree. I think they looked absolutely spectacular. And certainly game 1, I felt like, you know, the little brother hitting the older brother a little bit, and the older brother then starts chasing them around the house because, God, JDG were absolutely insane. It's just the biggest issue for me is that, like, I want to see this more consistently. Like, the fact, look, obviously there was a coin flip level 1, game 1, that made it a little bit tougher. But coming into game 2, where you can see a slower pace of early game, where you're having people link up with Yagao, like roaming topside to get those early wins for 369. In this game as well, you can see, okay, Kanavi getting some early plays, setting up for neutrals. Like, this is the JDG way, and to just have that more kind of be their style and like consistently seeing that is kind of what I think JDG need to find, because whenever they do start to slip behind, they almost play the game like they're still ahead, where you're still having Yagao look for picks. They're still like overextending in moments to like try and get vision control down and that kind of stuff. And when you don't have the tempo and you don't have the advantages in the mid game to do that, teams are punishing them super heavily.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you got to look at like the matches on the horizon for JDG, especially. But that conversation will have to come a little bit later, as we do get to see the gold graph for this one. A little bit different, as the first 2 were blue favor. But JDG actually come out with the red side win this time around in dominant fashion. The steady gold graph we've seen all night, where it starts off with a little lead, eventually expands into plus 10K. And you see everybody really having a say in that for JDG. Full dragons, all 4 of them. 8 towers to 0 there as well, and the numbers back it all up.
Yeah, I mean, this was just domination from JDG from the get-go. I mean, you got Kanavi finding these early leads down towards the bottom side of the map, making sure that Abel and Cole weren't able to actually play the game. And the thing is, for Abel and Cole, like, Lucian Nami is a lane that is very, very strong, but definitely a lane that needs to be able to bully the lane and get ahead. When you're the ones that aren't even able to approach your wave because of the pressure from JDG, that's when you know you're in a bad spot. And